beautiful Sunday morning, and you are listening to the Super Gamekast. I'm Bronson Fiore, joined by the always awesome Aaron Reynolds.
Hi, hello. It's another Sunday. Here we are.
And then we have our mod mommy, the lovely Emily Hulslander.
It sure is a lovely Sunday.
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
yes. Very
Cheers.
much. Cheers.
Um,
Oh, Lord.
hey guys, another week. We made it. We're here.
We did.
We did it.
Somehow.
Despite it all. Man. Good
Nice
Lord.
Undertale reference there. So, yeah, man. Hey, another week. I finally built that shoe rack for the living room.
You built the shoe rack?
Yay!
Yes, that was
Like
fun.
IKEA built or built?
Like IKEA built.
Okay.
It's
Nice.
which was still obnoxious in its own right, but
In its own ways, yes.
I love getting a piece of furniture that was obviously from China in a million parts. Um,
Sure.
I can enjoy that process
Sure.
depending on the item. This two-tiered desk I have was from
Mhm.
IKEA, and man, that was a struggle putting this together. But I don't know, when it's something small, that's all
Yeah,
right.
just the shoe rack's actually kind of big. Like it's like 4 tiers and
Okay.
yeah,
Whoa.
it's good
Okay.
size. It's
What do you think about getting a shoe rack?
highly recommend. It
Yeah.
makes it make our kitchen so our kitchen is kind of where all those shoes would go.
Mm.
Um, and then in my girlfriend's room as well, and then now it's like concentrated, and now the kitchen floor only has like the shoes we use to go around the kitchen and bathroom. Because we don't allow shoes
Okay.
on the we don't allow shoes on the carpet. So
I
you know,
gotcha.
you
Well,
take you
cool.
yeah. So take your shoes off in the entryway, throw them up on the rack. Better for
I'm a
guests,
janitor.
better
I
for
live
us.
in filth. You want to wear your shoes inside? That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, no. 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 Especially with the new
How about those
carpet. Like,
carpets?
fuck no.
Well, especially with the
Fuck.
new carpet for sure. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
you
like
want to
it's
take
like
care of that.
it's brand new carpet, so fuck no. Um, yeah. So, yeah, no, it's that's been going on, and then played video games and worked, and it was a normal week. And
It
then
was
all that
another
major.
week, you know.
Yeah. So, you want to know what's also happened this week, as it happens
What
every
happened?
Hmm.
week? Video game news.
Ah, shit.
Here we go.
All right.
It's just, I like how y'all automatically assume it's depressing.
Because a lot of the time it is.
Yeah,
Look,
A
because
lot
man.
of the news that we go through every single fucking week has had some level of depression, be it layoffs, like we're going to talk about in a little bit, or some other bullshit. It's
yeah,
always fucking
uh,
depressing, and you know this.
I,
So shut
yeah,
your
but there's
mouth.
some nice things. We got some nice things this week.
Some.
Um,
Yeah,
we've talked about this a couple times on the show, but I was talking with someone yesterday, just like, look, we care about video games and we're in our 30s, which means it's about labor issues and unions and people
Yeah.
getting screwed out of work. And that's what
it's
video games are now to us.
well, I sent you that Marty O'Donnell thing yesterday. I'm not sure if you got around to listening to that.
I wasn't
Uh,
able to watch the full thing, no, but
but like, just man, just Anthony sent me a comment that someone posted in it, and it was getting Bungie out of Microsoft was good. Not getting Microsoft out of Bungie was bad.
right.
you know, yeah.
Rough.
So for those that you don't know, the Act Man did an hour, 12-minute long interview with Marty O'Donnell about Bungie and kind of what went down and why they're in the state they're in. And Marty even says,
Hmm.
"This is my perspective.
Yeah.
If you talk to Jason Jones or Pete Parsons or whoever, they may say something else. But in my
Right.
opinion, we had a bunch of very creative people, and we made a a separate Bungie called Bungie Inc. to separate from Microsoft, and we did,
Yep.
and we needed to hire some people when we did that, and we hired some Microsoft people, and they were very much Microsoft people and trained in the way Microsoft people are, um, and they don't understand how the creative process works or anything similar to that.
Right.
So, um,
Yeah. Yeah. You
and
know.
that there were a lot of fantastic designers and big name people from the early days of Bungie that that left willingly but didn't leave willingly. It was not their first choice.
Great.
And then Marty said, and Marty sued because, well, you let me go right before my stocks were about to vest, and I had founder stock.
Ugh.
So so instead of suing for wrongful termination, he sued in regards to that, and that's why he won his lawsuit.
Oh,
He said,
Gotcha.
wow.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's just like, no, the judge was like, no, this is bullshit. You need to pay him his stock. You
Right.
know.
Right.
Pay the
So,
man his money.
yep. So yeah, so that was interesting. That actually wasn't in the docket. What is in the docket is, hey, Aaron, that second win drama, eh?
Man. All right.
So,
Here we go. Here we go.
what happened is Second Wind is a YouTube channel founded by a bunch of people who left The Escapist due to what they felt was poor corporate oversight by The Escapist.
Hmm.
What ends up happening is they make Second Wind, and there's a little bit of Twitter drama from Nick Calandra beefing with Grums and other people on Twitter, but
Yep.
seems mostly fine. Suddenly, their second biggest content creator just quits, quits last week.
Right.
And he says it's because of a certain person within the business, and then their salesperson left as well. And then here we are now. This week, Frost, that's the person who left, put out another video saying a lot of slanderous shit about Nick,
Yeah.
which is just all, or not even slanderous. We don't know how much of it is true and how much of it isn't. But
Yeah. It's still ongoing in a way.
yeah. So he said this dude took this dude took favors for favorable coverage. This dude took games for favorable coverage. Said, apparently he was given a VR system for press, and he kept it as his own. And he's apparently done that twice. Once with an older VR system, once with a MetaQuest 3. Just a lot of shit that's real bad. Like you should not be doing as a journalist.
Right. Right.
The only one that I looked at, because we used to do this, and I don't think anyone gave a shit, which was the fact that he put the review copies on his personal account. Now that didn't bother me, and here's why. So I have a question in regards to that. So was
Okay.
everyone putting the games on their personal accounts like we used to do, or was that a case of they were all going to Nick's account, and everyone was using Nick's account?
Right.
Because if everyone's just putting them on their personal account, who the fuck cares?
Exactly.
At that point, it's like, yeah, everyone's getting free copies of games for work. That's whatever. Who gives a shit? Um,
It's a very dastardly plan to boost your gamer score. Oh, we're
uh,
gonna start. I'm gonna start a review website, and everyone has to have my account on their console, and all reviews must happen through there, and I will have the greatest gamer score. I don't know. I don't think. Yeah.
yeah, it's just like, it's not like you can play all these goddamn games anyway, so it's like,
God,
yeah.
no.
So, and apparently he pushed his coworkers to provide positive coverage or hold back their criticism for PR connections without them knowing or also not disclosing it in favor of gear, trips, paid documentaries, bargaining for jobs. Um, and then he has that call with his old job where, you know, like he, is like, look, I don't have to disclose what they're paying at all. He gets, and he pockets the $200,000.
Mm.
So yeah, there's a lot of shit here that's like, and they bring up, and he has meetings and screenshots of his time with talking to the escapist, where apparently 51% of their revenue was Yahtzee.
Right. Which
Uh,
honestly, I'm surprised it's not higher.
and over 12% was Frost himself. So it's like,
Right.
so there was a lot to this. I highly recommend you go listen if you want the full what is it, 40-minute breakdown? No, 22-minute breakdown. Go watch Frost, the other Frost on YouTube. My problems with Nick Calandra. He breaks it down fully. But this is look, saying so. One of the worst things you could say about a journalist of any kind is that, yo, dog, you're taking favors or things for favorable coverage.
Yep.
It is honestly the only thing more the only thing worse you could literally do as a journalist is plagiarism. Like that's it. It's like play this and then plagiarism.
Yeah.
Like it's those are the big two. And Second Wind felt the need to respond to this video.
Right.
Different. So they got the entire staff to respond. It's only 8 people at this point, but
Yeah.
they all responded. Yahtzee said, "I get the vibe that Yahtzee is just annoyed and wants to work on his creative shit."
Right.
Which
Yes.
I also get the idea is that's the reason Yahtzee isn't independent, because you have to do all the you have to do the taxes yourself, hire a video editor yourself, do all this other stuff yourself.
The amount of animation that goes on in those videos, there's not enough time to do taxes, man.
Yeah, so he well, he has a video editor now, but and even then though, like it's excuse me. Yeah, so Yahtzee said, I've been asked to comment on this, and this is the first and last thing I will say. Frost does not speak for me. I'm perfectly happy as part of the Second Wind and with Nick as a coworker. I can't speak for Frost's experience, but if he wasn't happy, he was free to leave at any time, as are we all. I wish him well, and that he'd focus on his future rather than trying to stoke petty drama in ways that reflect badly on him more than anyone else.
Mm.
Um, I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna go over everyone, but I'm gonna be hit three in particular other people who are important to this discussion and whatnot. Uh,
You'll get the idea of what everyone felt from reading like a few of these. So
yeah, so the first one I'm gonna do is Jack Packard, sorry. Firstly, in Frost videos, I am the lead who said we'd be fine without Yahtzee. Frost and I were talking about a hypothetical situation, so I treated the question the same as I would treat what if Yahtzee gets hit by a bus, to which my answer was we would keep going. Frost is taking this out of context to prove my lack of judgment is ridiculous. To me, the biggest issue is I have Frost's video is the way he distanced himself from any decision, as if he was not an owner and had no say in how we operated. So here's my problem with that though: is when you're in a meeting and it's 9 against 1 or 8 against 2, you're not getting a full say in that most of the time. Like you might get a little bit of something. So you know, who knows? Frost could have been steamrolled in every meeting. I don't know. I
maybe,
wasn't there.
yeah,
Um, you know, He was a part of the formation of the business from the start, and he was part of the 2 weekly staff meetings and a monthly owners meeting. He claims that Nick isolated staff are demonstrably false in that alone. His claims that Nick is an anti-creative Iron Fist is laughable, as I've seen firsthand. The back and forth Nick takes with the creative staff, myself included. The one that claim that I will give him is that none of us are/were qualified to handle the business end of things. Yeah, I have a literal clowning degree, but we're still here working on it. When we heard from the staff that we were communication problems, we stepped up to fix them. When we finally heard from Frost they wanted to try things with Cold Take, credits, and thumbnails, we made it happen. it's a shame that Frost felt he couldn't work with us because we were working with him.
Mm.
I have a feeling that Frost was not nearly as vocal as he thinks he was as well. Um, that's the vibe I'm getting from a lot of these answers, but I don't know because I'm like, my instinct here is like, oh well, it's just covering. They're just covering their ass, probably, right?
Uh, that's the thing, we don't know. We don't have enough information on what's going on in there. Um, there is this uh impression I'm given of Nick that like I don't know, does he have a say in what's being written in these messages?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Um,
So
Yahtzee not wanting to really be a part of any of it is one understandable, but two just like I don't know. I think it's weird that he's the reason Second Wind works. Like
no, yeah, he's
I
51%
understand if
of
you're
their income. Yeah, that
yeah,
makes
I
sense.
understand if he were to leave or otherwise, just disappear in some way, like if you're part of Second Wind, you just keep going forward until you can't. Like I get that.
Yeah.
But like he is the reason that thing is living the way it is. And
Yes.
so it sucks, but I think he being that person has a responsibility to be a little more involved in trying to right the ship.
Yeah.
Uh, and I don't think he wants that responsibility. Um, but understands that it is that, and so he's like putting his head down and just making the content that he likes making that is also helping everyone get paid.
Well,
It's a
yeah,
difficult
because
situation.
yeah, because if Yahtzee goes, then you're like probably like 4 to 6 people lose jobs.
Right,
You know,
exactly. Yeah,
like
and
that.
that's tough.
That's like
Um,
even if Nick has no say on these posts, it's like, well, if you're Yahtzee, you're like, fuck. If I leave or say some shit, like 4 to 6 people are gonna lose their job.
right. You got to
So
go into, you got to go searching in the wastelands for game journalist adjacent jobs, which like the game industry itself is not doing well, let alone games journalism and games coverage, which is just AI is people are just choosing to make like bad AI articles to replace them.
right, and
And
then like what are you gonna do? Go be a become a YouTuber, which is a very hit or miss thing. Yeah.
right. Yeah. So it's not great the situation that they're in, but
So
yeah, yeah, if you want to read another one.
oh no, go ahead. I'm in another one, but you have your thought.
I mean, I'm being tempted to like summarize my feelings on it, and I want to get these other uh
Okay. Yeah.
bits out.
Marty Silva is a kind of a big name journalist. He used to be at IGN and a couple other places, and before landing at The Escapist for 5 years, and here we are. Goes
Hmm.
without saying, but I can only speak to my personal experiences. In the 5 years I worked with Nick and the team at The Escapist, and now Second Wind, I never once felt pressure to sway my editorial coverage of a game positively or negatively for outside reasons, and never heard of that from anyone else. The slightest whiff of anything like that would have raised a shitstorm from myself and the rest of the crew. As for gamer stuff goes, I still have a ton of love and respect for the editorial team at The Escapist is doing with the site. Coupling SEO that keeps the lights on in 2024 with some original features, op-eds, and criticism. That said, I truly do not believe a future existed for the video side of The Escapist that would have been sustainable and creatively fulfilling without overworking the skeleton crew that would have hypothetically remained back in November. I love Second Wind, enjoy working alongside the team we put together, and I'm proud of what we've made and that we're continuing to make, and admire the hell out of this community. Are we perfect? No, of course not. We're a group of passionate, creative human beings who are all individually flawed and bring baggage to the table. And we often disagree on things, but given the positive changes we've enacted over the past few months and continue to build upon, I truly believe our best days are ahead of us. So, yeah.
Okay.
And
All
then
right.
finally, I'm going to do Nick's statement and the final statement from the co op itself.
Yeah.
Nick Calandra, regarding the Gamementary call clip, I absolutely should not have said that. There was no excuse for it. It was wrong of me to devalue someone's work in that way, and I regret it and learned from the experience. Gamementary was set up with no contracts as a project between friends, which should not have happened as we are dealing with money. With the Kickstarter done, there was no money to continue Gamementary, so my plan to sell the brand to Enthusiast Gaming, and in doing so, they would continue to invest in documentaries and hire on the two main editors I had locked in the Larian documentary by that point. At that time, all the business details were under my name. I paid the insurance for the gear, the taxes, the website hosting, has handled all the Kickstarter finances and more. After the call, the four or after that call, the four in the call decided to leave. Enthusiast Gaming purchased Gamementary, and Omar was brought on to work on the Larian documentary. I, dude, are you not gonna respond to any of the other shit he said? Like, yeah, that call was definitely damning and is a
Yeah.
bad look. Like, but it was also 6 years ago. But I'm also sitting here going, like, you're not gonna respond to any of the shit about favorable coverage, any of that, like anything. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and then finally, final statement from Second Wind. In our opinion, Frost has shown that he's no longer willing to work with us as a team. And therefore we will be permanently archiving the Cold Take channel in the Discord. We'll always be open to reasonable questions and concerns. We won't entertain muckraking or rehashing drama over Frost video. We're looking forward to getting back to focusing on what we're all here for, making silly, informative, and entertaining videos about toys.
Yeah.
All right, so Aaron, your thoughts?
Okay, so I think it's pretty clear that Nick does not seem to be the best person for the role that he's in.
Uh,
Uh, like, regardless of your position on the whole controversy, like everyone, he does things that aren't great, and then he has to meet with the team, and the team's like, "Can you not? Can we do this differently so that you're not doing this?"
yes.
And that's happened on multiple occasions now. Um, but it sounds like no one really wants that position either that he's handling. So
So,
they're just trying to make it work, and Frost does not
right.
seem very happy with that. Um, at the same time, it sounds like Nick and this current arrangement is still something that the majority of the team is willing to go forward with. Um,
Yeah,
and
so far
yeah,
they had one person let go, and then Frost and another person left.
right.
So it
Who's the
means
person
that
that let go?
that was their like sales lead,
Okay,
their person, buying ad, getting or talking to companies about getting ad space on the
right.
on the pages and on the videos.
Yeah.
Um, Will Cruz, the other person that left, let me be clear, this is solely based off of my experiences and frustrations with Nick Calandra. From repeated sideload conversations, pitches that fell on deaf ears, then repurposed as original, and repeated frustration slash one-sided conversations that required me to reach out to some of y'all individually to yield results. This ain't a Cisco thing. This isn't a Frost thing. This is based on my own experiences and headaches alone. Beyond disappointing myself, maybe we'd throw out the bad apple after 5 years of frustrations, but silly me. I have nothing but respect for every other personality I've interacted with. You have been nothing but kind, respectful, and welcome, and awesome to get to know. Wish you all nothing but growth, new opportunities, and success. So,
Yeah. Um, it seems like a rough situation. I don't. It sounds like just due to number of people expressing how they feel, Frost seems to be in the weaker end of things. Like his complaints, a number of his complaints are valid
mm-hmm.
for sure, but and it also seems like the rest of the group is well aware of those problems as well.
uh, yeah,
Um,
and I feel they are working on them from everything I've heard. Like, that's, you know,
right. It's yeah, it's tough. You know, I understand like if you're in a position where it seems like someone's not doing right by everyone and you're trying to get people to be like, "Hey, can we get rid of this problem person?" And everyone's like, he's changing, he's trying, we're making it work." I can understand like frustration in that.
Yeah.
It sounds like something that's been like a years long problem with this guy. And so the prospect of change, especially change that sticks, uh, doesn't look great.
Yes.
Um, but it seems like this isn't going to be the YouTube, video outlining everything. I think that's not going to end up being very much in terms of changing Second Wind.
Um. Yeah. And I also think that in a lot of ways the second win staff, like, I think a lot of these people would have a long stretch of not being able to find a job or do their own thing besides Marty and Yahtzee
If this failed.
if this goes under. So
Yeah, and that
they
doesn't help either.
so they would much rather work with, you know, Nick and try and figure it out, and if worst case scenario get rid of him eventually, than have to go into the barren fucking wasteland that is
Right.
either finding a professional job in the game industry, be it press coverage or PR or communications, or
Hmm.
the other alternative, which is make your own thing. Which, like I said,
Right.
I think Marty and Yahtzee would do fine.
Yes.
I think the rest of those guys would probably have a real tough time.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's
The good thing for them is if they were to get rid of Nick, they still have Yahtzee, who's like the biggest draw. So it's just a matter of handling those tasks, which apparently people currently just aren't interested in doing doing that work.
yes. If there's something that I have realized, about myself and about other people who like to do creative shit is they don't want to do administrative stuff. It's
Right.
no one wants to do the spreadsheets.
I get
Uh,
it. I totally
uh,
get it.
no one wants to do the spreadsheets.
It was a bad thing for me when we were doing work at the old place.
Mm.
It was like on assignment out in the field that I realized like I don't want to do this fucking shit. I want to go talk about video games and like hang out and make content. I don't want to be out here doing this. I'm gonna talk about these like microphones, these like Bluetooth things. I don't care. Um,
Yeah, and I feel like that particular event, it was hard. That was CES, and that
yeah.
event was, I feel like, hard on everyone because, like, yeah, a lot of shit we just didn't care about. Some of it I did. Like, I thought that portable Super Nintendo was cool. I very
I mean,
much
sure.
like. I would
Yeah.
love to do an interview about that, but like E3 was the event I really loved because you actually got to talk about the video games with the video game
Right.
people. You know,
Yeah.
see, no gaming site should be like really taking CES super seriously unless there's like a hardware announcement.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
and that thing that we were doing was also difficult because I feel like unbeknownst to us, it was like we were trying to be something else, and that was at what is it 2013,
Yeah, like
and
the yeah.
yeah, and like that was a very weird moment for games media, let alone like people trying to break in and
Yep.
like make a name for themselves because everything was brewing for the title change towards Twitch and YouTube, and
I,
it was a lot.
I very much remember, and I just want to kick my own ass for this every time I think about it.
Mm,
Um, when so we started streaming on Twitch as an experiment, right?
yeah.
Like as like it was like Ray and I, and then Nick and John. Like it was two pairs of
Mm,
people doing two separate shows at two different parts of the day. And on average, both of those shows would get like 100 live viewers,
mm-hmm.
which we didn't think that was really anything because we're used to website traffic, which is like average gamer access video is getting like 10K. So we're like, this is nothing. What we
Right.
didn't realize is on Twitch, 100 people is a fuck ton of people,
Mm-hmm.
and is very easily, if, back then at least, was very easy to snowball into tens of thousands because if you were getting 100 people, you were getting the top of the page. You were
Right.
getting a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, like I look back on that and I go like, man, what a fuck up. What a fuck up that was.
It
Man,
yeah.
you
You
know,
know.
like just
But you didn't know. Like that was the thing. Again, 2013, we were doing very traditional coverage of
mhm.
games and even a bit of tech because that's what you did. And
I,
we were not like fully aware of the shift that was happening.
well, we were ahead of the curve just by virtue of like in your and I case being giant bomb fans. We
Right.
saw what was coming. And we tried to push the website in that direction, but of course, other people who had say in those directions didn't always agree. And the thing that Anthony and I always talk about is like, man, if we would have just combined all those directions instead of doing weird compromise things in hindsight, that site probably would have been wildly successful on YouTube. Uh,
I
because
mean,
uh,
yeah.
because I remember me and you in particular really hating the clickbait thumbnails and titles that Nick liked to run.
Sure.
But those work.
Um
They work. They work that. They worked then. They work now. You know.
that's something we were resistant long after like it was clear that that was the direction. Like, man, this sucks. And then just like,
Uh,
man, this is just how people work. Oh God.
Yeah, yeah, and that's so it's just like you have, so there was that going on, or like us wanting to do. I remember like being in multiple meetings with Nick and being like, "No, dude, this hour-long video works. I'm telling you,"
Right.
and him just being like, "Break it into 4 parts, 15 minutes each." I'm like, "God
Because
damn it!"
that's how we used to do it. That's how it was done.
And but like now, like we totally know people will sit there and watch an hour of that kind of content, you know.
Well, right, but like we also have to remember, like at the time, like that was the YouTube algorithm at work. That's what Game Grumps did. You know, like that's what you do, and
Yes,
it made sense at the time, but that was not where things were going to go.
yes, and then now you look at Game Grumps or what it like Game Grumps is doing hour long videos,
Yes.
so it's dear
Also, I
God,
want to
yeah.
just take a moment to say that the Nick that we're talking about is not this Nick at the
No, no,
at
no, no.
Second Wind.
Yes,
Yeah,
different EIC for a different website.
different EIC at a gaming website named Nick.
Yes.
So
Yeah. So it was no, like Anthony and I've had that conversation multiple times. We were ahead of the curve in a lot of ways, and we fucking squandered those opportunities.
we didn't know. We didn't know. That's the
No,
thing about the moment.
you
Like,
know.
okay, what's the thing in the moment right now?
Oh God, what do you think? Yeah, that's just like.
I don't think we're in it, and so like it's hard for us to even say. Like Twitch is still the big bad website, but it's so big and so bloated, and there's so many people trying to stream, and people are so concentrated. Like you can't really break in there. Is it going to YouTube? I feel
Yeah,
like
no,
YouTube. That's
well, I
I don't
think
know.
getting big is YouTube. It's just you have to play the
Whole YouTube
game,
game.
which is like if you're not an established creator, you need to do the thumbnails that are intriguing. You need to go ahead and set up titles that are like why this is the best game of 2023 when talking about some new indie game.
Right.
Like you need to play that game fully. And to be fair, most of the people who are willing to play that game fully do catch on. It's just that outside of Game Cave, we largely are not willing to play that game fully.
Right.
So,
Yes.
like,
Correct.
and even Game Cave, we're not willing to play that game fully because we put it out once every 2 months.
Right. No,
So
it's a whole fight, and it just it can be fun. There's some fun to be had in that chase. But like that's what we were doing with Kick. When we
Yep.
jumped on Kick, it's like we've made the bet like this has momentum. People are frustrated with Twitch. Someone is going to try and make a new Twitch, and like they got a couple big names. I was like, okay, all
But
right,
most of them, besides Amaranth and that one dude who's addicted to gambling, all moved to fucking back to Twitch.
yep,
You know,
no,
they
yeah,
got
yeah,
they got their
and
payday and we're like, cool, we out. You know, like it's
basically, and so it was like I don't know that, but that was the last big bet, I think. And then like yeah, what you're doing right now with YouTube, trying to make that happen, I think is the right response. It's just that God, you have to dedicate your life to it to
yeah,
even have a shot.
it's like, you know, it's Anthony and I were having a long conversation of like, okay, let's say by 2026, the end of 2026, we wanted to make this a part-time job, essentially,
Yeah,
part-time income, part-time job. We were like, okay, how often would we have to put a Game Cave video out? What other stuff would we have to do with it? And yeah, it would essentially be a 20-hour work week on top of our 40-hour work week,
yep,
and that's being very efficient. You know, and that's what you got to do. And if you want, you know, like, especially because it's more of a fight than ever.
mm-hmm.
You know, like unless you're established already. Like if you were established a long time ago, then it's a different ball game.
Yeah.
But you know, like ranking the
It,
PS2 isn't gonna get like traction, with the exception of when doing games that are like not getting a lot of love. So when
right.
someone searches herbs Sims in the city,
Yes.
it comes up. But yeah, so it's
That's good content, but that's not gonna be the thing that brings people in. It's gonna be some game that you're not expecting people are looking at.
yeah, and then I looked at it and I'm just like I watched it and I'm just like I'm definitely not gonna be able to post every game.
Yeah.
Because some of the commentary on these is entertaining. Like I watched through all the stuff I did last week, and outside of herbs, it wasn't very good, so I'm not keeping any of it. You know,
Okay.
like that's you know, like I'm just like outside of herbs, it wasn't particularly very good. Like
Right.
that you know, like that was my take on it, and I'll probably, you know, like Ultimate Spider-Man didn't help that the emulator completely shit the bed with that game. But
Yeah.
like Burnout 3 Takedown and Killzone both actually got some traction. You
Sure.
know, like so that, you know, like it's one of those things where you know, it's just you have to play the game so completely to even get to like part time with it. And then ideally what you would do is you would roll that into a Patreon once you have some momentum and hope it sticks.
Yeah. Right. And that's
Um,
tough because you have to calculate. All right. Uh, I think it's like 5% of whatever group like tends to be willing to give money
yeah.
to support your project, and that's just what it is. It's not like anyone's fault or anything. It's just that's just how people work.
Well, yeah,
Um,
because like, I mean, I've only given money to one Patreon. It's Jeff's, and I love this shit. I love this shit. I fucking like every Sunday. I'm like, God, I'm fucking stoked to do the podcast day. Let's go.
mhm.
And
Mhm.
and I love watching other people's content. But the only one I'm like genuinely willing to pay for is like Jeff and sometimes Colin. You know,
Sure.
and
I've done it for Jeff, Nextlander, No Clip, um, Aftermath.
yeah,
Uh,
No Clip got me also. No Clip got me for a little
yeah.
bit when they were putting out stuff more consistently. Um,
I
you
mean,
know,
just their archive stuff that they're doing now has been
yeah.
invaluable.
So like, what was another one I paid? I did pay for not Second Wind, Last Stand Media for a little bit.
Sure.
I did pay for. I think I did Nextlander when they started out, but turns out I'm not a big enough fan of them by themselves to keep that
Yeah.
alive. I really,
There's something to be said about like in terms of trying to capitalize on the moment of like there's a part of me that wants to do nostalgia stuff, and we're just gonna play stuff and do what we've done, which is what Giant Bomb does now, or old Giant Bomb does now, in their
Yep.
two separate groups, and like that works out for them because they have the audience. And then there's the finding what the new thing is, finding out what people want now, and that one's a much harder one.
Yeah.
But it's also where you're going to if you don't have an audience, like you're not gonna grow if you don't try to venture out in some way.
Um, yeah, absolutely. And I think yeah, and I look at like Nextlander and I watched that video they did recently on the 360 when that shut down. Like their
Right.
their stream for it, but I'm just like I, I think that the reason they can get away with doing their, like let's play some old and new video games on stream 3 times a week and do a podcast is, because they're established and people really like those guys. And with good reason.
People including myself like formed parasocial relationships with those guys. Everyone has that one or two groups of people.
Mhm.
It's like you are now a part of my life. I want to hear about what's going on in Vinny's basement.
I,
Okay,
I,
I want to know.
yeah, I had that thing recently when it was really nice to hear about Jeff's kids getting into video games.
Yeah,
I'm just like, God damn it.
I was working and I got a notification from Nextlander, and I just like clicked on it just to see what's going on. It's like Vinny in some room in his house that he's working on to make like a streaming space. I'm like, oh hell yeah, this is the kind of content I'm here for. And it's
Wholesome
like I wouldn't
content.
describe myself as someone who's really into people streaming working on their houses. It's Vinny, you know.
Maybe I should do
This man,
that.
I was watching him talk about video games in high school. Like,
Maybe
it's
maybe
what it
maybe
is.
that's what I should do when we fully build the stream room in here.
But that's probably we don't have anyone.
We have like
We got we
three,
got
like
the we got the Discord people. And that's fun. There's a lot of fun to be had in that. But again, it's that game. It's the
yeah,
game you got to play.
yeah. I think Blasian would be stoked to see us build that room. That's about it.
Look, for us 30 somethings and up, building a room and streaming that is fun in its own right. All right.
Like I'm putting
Where
up
does
these.
this Ryu poster go? Where do we want to put this? That'd be good. It's good.
Yeah,
It's good content.
there we go.
But mm,
Yeah. So,
yeah,
yeah,
Eh,
that's.
yeah. We kind of broke off real bad there.
But yeah, no,
I think that's what makes us so interested in the topic. Is here's this gaming group that like they're doing it. They're doing it, and it's very interesting to us to watch this independent group try to figure things out.
yes, 100%. So, yeah, no, hopefully they all get it worked out. Anyway,
Well, yeah, I hope so. And then Frost, I wish the best for everyone involved.
yes.
It's a thing where everyone who's at Second Wind is in a real tough position. Nick clearly has some problems that even he himself is aware of. It seems like they're trying to work together to make it work, but it seems like it's been a long-term project. And
Mhm.
Frost, understandably, is like, can we get rid of him? That'd be nice. Um, and I understand Frost's perspective on that as well. But the thing is, the group is the group. If everyone seems to be just down with it, then if the choice is for you to head out, I think that's the right call. And you clearly have make some content that some people follow and like. So maybe I don't know, take a shot. Take a shot at the YouTube game yourself. You have a promising lead.
Yeah.
That might be the way to go. You have a fantastic voice, so
Yeah, and I think that what he's gonna do. I think he's gonna move. I think he's gonna move Cold Take over to his own channel, and hey, if I feel like he has a really good head start. A lot of people would kill to have 71K subscribers and 3 to 5K views per video, except this new one.
right.
So let's this new one has 106K, and probably got him a lot of new subscribers because I remember when I watched that video it was at like 60K. So
Hmm.
you know. So yeah, hopefully he can turn it into a good career on his own.
Right.
He gets to do all the fun stuff that people love doing, like spreadsheets.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
who does not love spreadsheets? And like, oh man, the Deadpool movie is coming out. Can I talk about anything related to Marvel or Deadpool or Wolverine this week?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep. I wish the best for everyone. That's a
And anyone
rough
that works
spot.
in this field is like just it's such a fucking it's such a crab battle situation where it's just a bunch of crabs in a bucket fighting to death, trying to get out.
Trying
Uh,
to get out, man. Holy crap. And yeah. Everyone here seems to have a way forward. Um I hope that like Frost doing this doesn't like I hope he goes forward and doesn't like oh I go back to doing cold take and stuff and it doesn't like quite hit and so I dip back into drama like kind of thing because that's where the content is and that's where I end up making the money.
well,
You know what I mean?
yeah, and that's the thing is, and that dude, from what I have at least seen in his videos, seems like a guy who, um, he seems like a guy who very much is concerned with the ethics of his content.
Mm-hmm.
So I would hope that continues, and at least on the Second Wind channel, his videos were hitting around 100K a video. Which, if you do
Okay.
100K a video once a week, and then you spin off a Patreon, you can probably live okay.
I think so.
Like, and not to mention that he, because okay, you were, over 10% of the income at Second Wind and The Escapist, so maybe you'll be fine by yourself.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
I know I've talked about it before. I know the exact dollar amount per month I'd need to go full time. It's actually not even that like crazy high. Is the funny part.
Okay.
Yeah. I would need before tax because private insurance is so unwieldy expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It'd have to be a take home of about $3,200.
Okay.
So
Yeah. That sounds
yep.
about right.
So yep. That's No, I've looked into that. So anyway, we're gonna move forward. It was a
Yeah.
very interesting topic.
Wish the
Uh,
best to everyone involved.
yes. So, hey, more layoffs.
Ah,
Hey, at least the amount goes down is really low this time.
okay.
It's only
Valid
45.
point.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, that's a valid point that it's smaller than every other studio who's been laying off thousands upon thousands of people.
Well,
Uh-huh.
That's fine. But
to
the fact
to
that they're still laying off people is a bunch of bullshit.
well
I'm
to
just
be
Okay.
saying.
fair, this studio laid off 1,700 workers earlier in the year.
Oof.
So, you know,
You know,
maybe these people were just missed. They're like, ah, shit, we forgot. All right, get these guys out too.
The
Yeah.
profits still aren't high enough. God damn it.
Maybe if you would just stop making the same fucking game forever, Ubisoft.
Young, Good, and Evil 2 when,
Ooh.
my dudes?
Right.
Yeah, it's just like, well, see, my problem with Beyond Good and Evil 2, it's just going to be Beyond Good and Evil Assassin's Creed. Because Far Cry is Far Cry Assassin's Creed, and Star Wars Outlaw is Star Wars Assassin's Creed. Every game they make is fucking just Assassin's Creed with a different skin on it. So,
Yeah,
you
it's still
know,
making money though, right?
What
uh,
make foul mouth space monkey? God damn it! Not too
well,
much to ask.
your foul mouth space monkey is gonna play like Assassin's Creed.
Ah,
Uh,
shit.
yeah, it was reported by Bloomberg that 45 staff across the Assassin's Creed publisher in San Francisco and Cary, North Carolina locations were impacted by layoffs yesterday. They will receive severance and career assistance. Uh, yeah, same bullshit. Quote, this is difficult yet necessary decision was made to align these studios organizations with their future business and development objectives. We are committed to providing comprehensive support to those affected, including severance and career assistance, We thank them for their many contributions to Ubisoft.
Great.
Yep. Cool. Cool.
How
Which
much can I trade this statement in for currency?
I posted it last week, man. If I had a dollar for every time I said studio closure, layoff, or shut down this past year, I'd probably be a millionaire at this point. Uh,
Probably.
uh, yeah, I think this also has to do with the fact that Star Wars Outlaws is out soon.
It's 2
Um,
weeks, or yeah, 2 weeks from this last Friday.
yeah, it comes out on Friday the 30th. Funnily enough, my girlfriend's birthday.
Man,
So yeah. She doesn't like Star Wars, and I stopped giving a fuck about
Aw,
Star Wars a long fucking time ago.
damn.
I used to be such a Star Wars fan, but dear lord, fuck
man.
this game and fuck this franchise. You know,
Oh, valid.
like dear god. You know, like everyone's like, oh, an open world Star Wars game. I'm like, who gives a shit? You know,
I mean, we're about to find out.
a lot. It's gonna sell well. It's gonna sell super
Yeah.
great,
I
and
mean, I'm gonna
it's
be
gonna,
picking it up day one.
you know, it's gonna turn into a franchise, and you know, fucking great. Fine. Well, whatever. You know, is what it is. You know,
Yeah.
it's it. You know, it's the Star Wars game, and I also, yeah, and like studio. There are 11 studios working on this fucking game.
That's
Wait,
wild.
what?
Yeah, yes,
Holy
there.
shit.
Yeah, it's massive entertainment, and then 10 branches of Ubisoft.
Oh, it's
I,
massive, all right.
yeah, I
Yeah,
was gonna say. I heard the game was
yeah.
big, but holy shit,
Yeah,
11 studios big?
this budget, it sure is massive.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Oh,
Man.
this
buddy.
budget is, man, we sure can't wait to lay off all these people once this game season pass is done.
Yep.
You know,
Rough.
or get them working on a sequel immediately because it's Star Wars. Yeah,
And that shit makes bank.
yeah. Apparently, the studio's other two games are Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora and the second Division game.
Hmm.
Which
That's
I have
the
that game. I haven't played it yet.
okay, the Division. How do you feel about Destiny?
I mean, okay.
How would you feel about Destiny if it were COVID? Yeah, there you
Probably a
go.
lot better than the bullshit we actually dealt with.
Yeah, so there you go.
Am I wrong?
So
Man.
yeah, so bummer. Hope those people find jobs in this wasteland nightmare industry.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know, moving forward, it's almost to the point whenever layoffs happen, it's just like, oh no. Anyway, like
I mean, how many times can we say the same thing?
That
you know,
that gif
like
of Jeremy from Top Gear. Oh no. Anyway,
yeah,
See, that's the thing. Yeah, it's like it's I wish the best for them, but
y'all do.
I,
Absolutely.
you want me to say that every single time this happens because it's just become the default now. This is just
it's
what our life
Yeah.
is.
it's just every publisher, every studio way overhired during COVID, and here we are, where we are reaping what the hell happened. You know,
Yep.
so all right, okay, so moving forward, hey, Switch 2 stuff. We're getting some more Switch 2 news. Um, so Nintendo finally confirmed this console's existence.
Okay.
Finally, after how
Um,
long?
right. Um,
That doesn't mean much to me because, yeah, everyone
so
knows at this point. I don't know what you're, but all right.
so they finally confirmed the existence, and they said, um, and what they have said is they don't expect it to be out before April of next year. Now, many people are saying that, oh, that means it's coming out in April. It's coming out in April.
Okay.
But
Chill
About
out.
that.
I don't think
Chill out.
that's the case. I think it is. I think it is very much. I'm gonna be honest. I think April would be fine. I think that means they'll have a whole quarter to get shit out. But on the other side of that, I also think you know it was supposed to come out in March. So how much does delaying it a month really buy you in terms of software development time and prepping the system?
Mm,
Like
yeah.
that's the like question that I have. So I just want to see this fucking thing already.
Yep.
Same.
Um, yeah. Apparently, a big part of this delay, or what is supposedly a delay, was the fact that they want to make sure that they have enough available for launch, so they don't run the problems the PS5 and the Xbox did,
Mm,
and so that they
valid.
have, a solid launch and full first year of video games. Which
Yeah.
they got that new Pokemon game that's supposedly launching on it. That Arceus sequel with the Zygarde thing they showed.
Oh yeah.
And then the other two big rumors that keep floating around are a Mario Kart 9, yeah, Mario Kart 9, and a new 3D Mario game.
Mm,
Then those are system sellers.
those
Which,
are very much system sellers.
yeah, my response to that is if you can get Mario, Zelda, or not Mario, Zelda, Mario, Pokemon, and Mario Kart as your launch, that's kind of absolutely incredible, and you should do that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Huge.
So, yeah,
Sw- Switch 2.
yeah,
Super Switch.
I,
Switch
I'm,
U.
Don't you dare.
I think that just
Oh God.
this is such a case where the Switch One was so wildly successful. It's the second best selling console of all time,
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
and it could be number one by the time things are all said and done. Especially as the original Switch will probably get a price drop. You
Yeah.
know, so like I feel like you really want to carry that install base over, and they've already said that yes, your online account with all that your purchases and whatnot are going to carry over, and the friends list and everything. And I'm like, okay, that's a start, and that definitely implies backwards compatible, which also a big start. Um, so yeah, I think that if it's backwards compatible and has a bunch of like the thing with this is it can't be too weird. It can be weird, but yeah, it can't be too weird.
yeah.
So yeah,
Uh,
so I'm looking forward to Switch 2. The Switch is the Nintendo game or the Nintendo console I bought the most games for. I'm over 60. I'm picking up two more later this year with Zelda and Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. I
mm,
love
Mm-hmm.
the platform. It's easily Nintendo's best console in terms of consistent support, and they are doing a lot of cool stuff with their libraries. Like they've brought back most of their franchises with a few exceptions. Nintendo, like the sports franchise got a new game like 2 years ago. You know,
right. Yeah.
yeah. So you know, and who knows if I keep supporting them, maybe they will do a what's it called? Do a new Punch Out or F Zero. So yeah.
Well, the indie space is taking care of that, unfortunately. So I don't think you're going to get a new Punch Out
uh,
anytime soon.
I was actually looking at my copy of Punch Out Wii the other day. And I'm like, I want to play this again. I should hook this up. I should get one of those
Yeah.
Wii to HDMI adapters and hook this up.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
Oh well.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I also want to know the price. Like, I think that price is a big factor for me because, like, I don't know, dude. I feel like anything above 400 is too much for a follow up to the
Again, I'm
Switch.
hoping for that future that we forecasted, which is everything is going portable, which means we're not going to be going as hard on hardware, which means hopefully a little cheaper.
So they've stated that it's going to. So multiple leaks have said it's a little more powerful than where a base ROG Ally is.
Okay.
So if you do the Nintendo thing where you strip down a lot of stuff, I could see them getting to $400.
Sure.
I can see 400 being the sweet spot. No, we'll find
And this
out
is going to be
though.
coming out, while Xbox and Sony don't have they're not even talking about really what their next stuff is. So, like
Yeah.
people might have the appetite for a $400 console right now.
I think more people than I thought have apparently wanted a new portable system recently because I feel like almost everyone I know is either considering or already bought one of these or an ROG Ally.
Okay.
Like
Nice.
Tim, Ray, Anthony, myself, David, Blasian, Ethan, Ninja, like just it feels like the portable PC market is bigger than ever, and that's mainly because Nintendo hasn't been around to be like, "Yo, dog, Steam Deck," or
Right.
"Hey, here's our sequel console," and because games are not running as well as they used to, because
Mhm.
it's that thing is basically a 2014 iPhone.
Right. Yeah.
Nintendo can do magic with it. I played that new Zelda game. I'm sure it's gonna look and play great.
Yeah.
You know, like it's yeah. So
Exactly.
uh,
But
yeah, like it's definitely made me go from buying all my indie games on Switch to buying them on PC because like I don't have faith in Nintendo continuing this stuff beyond this generation. Like I hope they prove me wrong. I hope that when Switch
that would be
3 rolls
nice.
around, I hope in 10 years when Switch 3 rolls around, they're like, it's backwards compatible with Switch and Switch 2. And I'll be like, fuck yes, let's go. Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
I, I would love to have faith in Nintendo to do the right thing. They're
uh,
Nintendo.
yeah, so. Nintendo is the ultimate case study of you can get away with murder if you release great video games.
Right.
So,
Yep. Ugh.
all right. So moving forward, speaking of portable game consoles, Valve
Uh-huh.
confirms it is going to support the ROG Ally with the Steam Deck operating system. Steam
Hey.
Steam
Okay.
SteamOS will support rival handhelds once Valve is happy with it. It says that it plans to let other companies use the operating system, and I'm stoked about this because a lot of people have been installing Bazite on the ROG Ally X,
Mm.
and they're saying like, "Oh yeah, it's makes it better than the Steam Deck now."
Huh.
Like,
Wow.
yeah, so it's because basically SteamOS with some tweaks, and yeah, no, I think that this is great because one, it's going to force more publishers and developers into using Linux friendly stuff, which in the long term means more support for the Steam Deck. And also, it means that maybe eventually we can all move away from the nightmare that is Windows.
That's a
Um,
fun thought.
so yeah, they're planning to give full support. As for Windows, we're planning to remake the remaining Windows drivers for Steam Deck OLED available. So you'll be able to dual boot Windows on the OLED soon. Uh, but yeah, so I'm hoping that what this does is a lot of people want to put SteamOS on their ROG Ally. I think that one of the big complaints I've heard from everyone who has bought an Ally is the setup process sucks ass. And getting
Mm.
into the launcher thing you need to use to play games also sucks ass.
Oh.
Versus, well, you don't need it to play games, but it's like you're using Windows on a screen that's like 6 inches big, 7 inches big. Like basically, imagine using a full version of Windows on your Switch, Aaron.
Hmm.
It's not great. I
Yeah,
tested
no.
I tested some friends, and I also tested it at Best Buy when I went there, and they had a demo unit, and I was just like, holy shit, the Steam Deck makes this look like a piece of trash when you use it. Because like, if you obviously we're the type of people who are gonna want to get into emulators and fuck around with like Proton DB stuff on your Steam Deck. But if you just want to play games, which I feel is most people, they just want to load up the console, download shit, and play games. The Steam Deck is so much better than the Ally in that sense. Um, so yeah, um, yeah, I think this is great mainly for the long term of Linux because the Steam Deck has been getting more people onto Linux, and I think that if the Steam OS offers a better experience for that kind of content,
Hmm.
then I really do think that the Steam Deck or Steam Linux could start to gain some traction, at least among gamers, because there's less overhead, there's less bloat, which means you can have a lower spec system and a not as strong PC and get better performance. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and we've talked about this with VR is like the way to push these directions in tech is
Mhm.
through getting people playing video games. And the problem with VR is it's such a high cost to even get in. It's difficult to fund that. Whereas if people are starting to push more towards these kinds of systems, this is the perfect opportunity to start pushing for more Linux compatibility and thus move away from Windows being where a lot of people who play games having to operate in. So,
Well, yeah, because like I've had a Steam Deck for what is it, 5 months at this point, and I love it, but it definitely is like anytime there's a game that I want to play on it, I have to sit and go, okay, does Steam say it's verified? No, but is it actually going to work anyway? Because there are plenty of games that do that. How much of a pain in the ass is it to get it work if it doesn't work? Because you can get almost
hmm.
anything to work if you try hard enough. Is it going to run well when you get it working? Like on Windows, because I don't have that issue. I just install the game and play it, provided it's made well. And then I really think Steam needs to get on its testing because it's like, yeah, Arkham Asylum doesn't work at all. And then I load it up, and yeah, you have to fiddle with
It
the
works
touch.
fine.
Yeah, you have to go, like, use the touch screen to get into the game,
Hmm.
but then it works fine.
Okay.
So it's like, like they used to say that Dragon Ball Kakarot was not compatible. Totally worked entirely fine. Like just perfectly. Like I was like, I don't know. I feel like I'm Goku running around doing stuff. Seems
Right.
works to me.
Yep.
And then of course the big fish is a lot of games with anti-cheat don't play nice.
Mm,
So,
Yeah.
Helldivers does, which is great, but like you want to play Destiny? No. Call of Duty? No. So,
I
yeah.
gotcha.
So that's cool. Hopefully Linux gets some more traction. It means less overhead. It means portables can run better. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And Valve is a big supporter of Linux. They have been for a long time. So, uh,
Okay.
speaking of Valve, hey, so there is a play test, and I'm not sure it's a friends and family play test or what the hell is going on here, but there's a play test for Valve's new game. And it is a hero shooter meets MOBA, right? So it's a third-person shooter mixed with a MOBA. So
Very
like
interesting.
Smite but with guns essentially.
Okay.
Um and it's called Deadlock.
All right.
And it has reached 20,000 or almost 20,000 players. And it's operating under an invite system where certain Steam users are receiving invites and can suggest other users to receive invites. So, yeah, and screenshots and footage are minimal, given players are required to sign a strict NDA before being permitted to play. However, players are free to discuss their experiences with the game with a Deadlock the Game subreddit already accruing members and discussion of early impressions. So there is that. Um, and yeah, apparently this was all supposed to be hush hush, but then it all leaked out and kind of just went everywhere.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Can we talk about how Valve is actually making video games again? It's nice to see.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was gonna say.
you know, um, I think I was just talking with someone about the that Dota 2 card game they made, and
Oh, I forgot what that was called.
remember that?
Artifact?
It was
Artifact? Yeah, Artifact.
Artifact. Sounds right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's nice to see them working on something and something actually coming out. Because that Half-Life Alyx was quite something.
Yeah, and they put
Uh,
out Counter Strike 2 last year, right?
that's right.
That came
Yep.
out last year.
Yep.
Um,
So them working on something new is interesting. I'm sure Team Fortress 2 fans are not happy.
I'm sure every Valve fan is not happy because they all want something different.
Well,
Uh,
right. But
you
like,
know,
Half-Life people got Alex, so they're happy for now, but it's also not 3. Um Team Fortress people are pissed right now. Uh
Left for
Portal,
Dead
I don't know.
people,
I think Portal was fantastic and they did as much as they could with that.
but also imagine what a Left for Dead 3 could be.
Imagine what a Left 4 Dead 3 could be. Like Left 4 Dead, they should be like after Back 4 Blood happened and that all crashed and burned. Like I don't know. I think they could do something if all the necessary pieces were there. A new
Like,
Left 4 Dead 3 would be fantastic.
you don't even need to do that much. You just need to like, so you would need all the content from the first two games, which would be the hard part. But then you add
Mm.
some new survivors, some new weapons and maps, and you update the graphics, and boom, there you go. You got Left 4 Dead 3, baby. Let's go. People would be
Yeah,
stoked. Just give me like 8 new maps again. I'll be happy. You
yeah.
know, update it to the new Source engine. It would look great.
It
Um,
would look amazing.
yeah. So there's that. Um, yeah, it's kind of a bummer that this leaked out before they were ready. Um, I don't know how this kind of game is gonna do because every time MOBA shooter has been tried, it hasn't done great. But
Hmm.
I also have a lot of faith in Valve because they have like some of the best designers in the world.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
Right. So um they've had issues in the past in terms of like they haven't messed up on some games. I guess I'm specifically thinking about Artifact, but like um they're not 100%, but they know how to make good stuff.
yeah.
And it's very interesting seeing them make something new for them at least.
Hmm.
Um and it's MOBA and it's shooter. Like you want to talk about like people were talking about 2XKO as this thing that's going to get people into fighting games because it's free to play and it seemed like they were going to make some efforts there, and then you see the beta come out, it's like, oh no, this is a tag fighter and it's going to be for the hardcore of hardcore, it's just going to be free to play. um this seems like, with Valve behind it, this seems like getting people who aren't into MOBAs and
Maybe.
having them be that push makes that much more interesting.
I agree. I just want to play it. Like, I want to see what this is, hands on, and not just like.
Right.
Because this seems like a
Yeah.
game that could be really cool, but also could turn into just another MOBA sweat fest. And I'm just like, eh.
I
So,
mean, it's going to be a sweat fest, right? It has to be.
probably. Yeah, probably.
Overwatch
Um,
is a sweat fest, so.
um, Yeah, so we'll see. It's got thousands of playtesters, and people are really stoked about it. So hopefully someone will be nice enough to give us an invite, and we can play it.
That would be nice.
Um, so we got some good news. We got some warm and fuzzy news next.
Oh,
Hey, all right.
warm and fuzzies.
The warm and fuzzies. Hi-Fi Rush Studio Tango Gameworks has been acquired by
Yeah.
Krafton and will remain open. So it was shut down back in April. And it closed its doors fully in June, with Takeo Kaido sharing photos on social media that it was his last day. However, South Korean publisher Krafton, who owns PUBG and the Callisto Protocol studio Striking Distance, says it has acquired Tango Gameworks, and it
Huh.
plans to the marketing exciting moment in the game's global expansion and its first significant investment in Japanese video game market. The publisher said in a statement, this strategic move will include the rights to Tango Gameworks' acclaimed IP, Hi-Fi Rush, and the publisher plans to work with Xbox and ZeniMax to ensure a smooth transition and to maintain continuity at Tango Gameworks, saying it wants the team to continue working on Hi-Fi Rush IP and other future projects.
Wow.
Um, so
Yeah.
there we go.
All
Uh,
the warm and fuzzies to Tango Gameworks. So,
Yay. So yes.
yay.
What this tells me is, everyone, if you haven't yet, you should go buy Hi-Fi Rush because it's
Yeah.
a
And
great
play the
game.
ever loving shit out of it.
Is
Yep,
that deal closed yet? Like that's all done?
it's done. It's they're
Okay.
transitioning over. I don't know if it'll stay on Game Pass forever because now it's not owned by that company.
That's the thing. When I buy it, I want to make sure it's going to the right people at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So yeah, it's actually even on sale until August 21st. By the way, right now it's 18
No
bucks,
Nice.
shit.
everyone. So
15?
18. It's 18 bucks.
18. All right.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. So
Fun
that
little
game.
game.
Yep, and that game does run great on deck. So there you go.
Nice.
Everyone, go play the Hi-Fi Rush. Um. So yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Moving forward. So that's good news. It's good. It's nice to see me on this show being able to say, yeah, everything is going great for this one company. Finally, we finally got something that isn't depressing. Um.
Took some time.
Speaking of things that we're all excited for, hey, that Marvel collection, right?
Yeah.
Marvel,
Oh,
Marvel.
yes.
So
Marvel.
Capcom's been putting out trailers. Like they've been putting out a trailer for each individual game. Like I'm not
Mhm.
so like, but so that's been hype. Like they did X-Men versus Street Fighter and they did Marvel superheroes. I imagine that we're gonna get another one soon. But one thing they've also been doing is posting it up for retailers. And one retailer fucked up and might have accidentally leaked the release date. So UK retailer Shop2 accidentally listed the release date before it was quickly removed, and it was November 22nd is when we're supposedly getting this.
Hmm.
Um,
Supposedly.
supposedly
Supposedly.
through this, but considering the retailer was like, "Oh shit, take it down, take it down, take it down," uh, I'd be pretty bet this is a pretty likely indicator. I also will say that hey, when's Marvel?
Uh-huh.
November 22nd. Looks like it's the answer to our question.
Okay.
What day is that? What day is that? Is that that is a Friday? Oh man, just in time for guess what? Friday
Oh
Night
shit.
Fights, baby!
All
Let's
right.
Marvel
fucking
night!
go.
I'm ready to slap buttons.
I'm ready to hit buttons. I have no idea what they do because I haven't played that game in 12 fucking years.
Yep.
Ah,
I, I remember how to
let's
do
go.
Venom's grab, where he swings you around and smacks you on the ground.
Just
It's that is what half circle back X on the PS3. So
oh,
so there we
Sure.
go. Um, yeah, but we're excited that this is a Marvel household. It's a Marvel dojo.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Um, in all honesty, it's actually kind of split 50-50 between Tekken and Street Fighter. It's the vibe I
Yeah.
get. I definitely think our Tekken nights are more crowded though. I think Tekken has more people. But
Mm.
yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we got a Marvel release date and hopeful release date, and I'm excited. I'm dying. Like I said, I'm gonna buy a digital copy on Steam, a physical copy on PlayStation. I'm ready. I am ready. I'm actually considering even buying. There's like a big Marvel 2 poster I saw on Etsy. I nearly bought also. Yeah.
Oh God, I want it now.
Marvel baby.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's our news for the week.
All right. Hey.
Yeah.
Wow, quite a week.
Yeah.
God
So
damn.
on to what we've been playing. Hey there, Mr. Aaron, what you been playing?
Let's pull up Steam here.
Oh wait, I
What have
actually
I
played
been
something new
playing?
this week. I forgot about that.
I say
Uh,
I
Hey,
actually
new
have a
stuff.
quick news story,
oh
real
okay.
quick.
What is it?
So Gamescom out in Germany is starting on Tuesday, the
All
20th.
right. Okay.
I found this article on Kotaku of 5 hopes and predictions for Gamescom opening night.
Mm.
Okay.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 trailer.
The movie. Okay.
Uh, oh,
The
sure,
movie.
right, yeah.
Shadow. You see
Uh,
the poster rolling around? Oh,
yeah.
Can you see
uh,
all of me?
we're gonna review
Kojima
that,
is at
right?
least
We're
mentioned.
we're gonna review that,
Y'all can
right?
review that.
No, come
Yeah,
on, come on,
absolutely.
go see the trash movie.
No, I'm done.
Come on,
They got me
man.
twice. They
Come
got
on,
me twice.
this
I'm not
one's
doing
like
that
Sonic
again.
Adventure 2 though. They showed Rouge the Bat and everything.
Come
Okay, they
on.
can do that. That's fine.
How comically bad is this gonna be?
My brother is a big, huge Sonic fan,
All right.
and he was bummed out by the fact that I did not enjoy uh the first movie or the second, and so he listened to my complaints, and he went, and when the movies were released, he edited as many of the bad parts as he could out and put a lot of Sonic Adventure and Sonic
Oh,
Adventure 2 songs in the
God, I
background,
love your brother.
and he called them Radley cuts. And so when those movies come out, he makes Radley cuts, and I watch those. So that's when I'm gonna watch the new Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Okay, I'm gonna
I
go to
will
that
go see it in
terrible
its
movie in
entirety, so fuck
theaters,
you.
and I'm gonna. I'll laugh real hard if this next one is like barely the humans at all, and I'm just like,
And
oh,
it's
that's the
just
one I missed.
all
It's just all
Yeah.
Sonic and
uh,
If I have to watch yet another fucking Siberian dance off in some bar in my fucking Sonic movie, I don't know, man.
I don't know that part I'm okay with. Like
oh
the
my
weird,
God.
That's every time.
Oh,
Every time I watch those movies, it's like, why are we here? Why did we end up
why are
here?
we
What are we
here?
doing?
Like, what the fuck is going on?
I don't know. I think a
Ugh.
movie with Sonic the Hedgehog being fairly ADHD actually makes sense.
ADHD is fine. That's not the
Yeah.
problem. And two was much better about this. But the first one really set me off as like some fucking movie executives said this is an IP to make money off of. How do we make a movie with this? I don't know. You ever seen a road trip movie? You ever seen Roadhouse? He's in a bar and he starts fighting people. And it's like, what are we doing?
Well,
And again, the second one was better, but shit, man.
uh, okay, but Keanu Reeves as Shadow the Hedgehog.
The casting has been fantastic. The casting's
Uh,
been great. Not a problem with that.
oh God.
That's not my issue. It's people writing those stories are just like, get these people out. What are you doing? Get these people out. And they've gotten again closer to what they need in that second movie. And like Jim Carrey as Robotnik is fantastic. It's not even like full on Robotnik, but like it's his flavor and it works. It really works. The Stone character, I'm down. He's a fun little guy, but whatever. Robotnik has had a number of different kinds of henchmen. It'd be great to make him a little bit of a robot at some point. Like he
Yeah.
becomes roboticized just to keep with the themes, but that's not crucial.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I think Knuckles was fantastic. Idris Elba as Knuckles was great. Um, but goddamn, the overall writing is not good.
No, I agree. So, this movie looks like it's gonna be a train wreck just because I read this. As a cost-cutting measure, the producers had an in-house animation team at Paramount work on this and the Knuckles series instead of outsourcing to Blur.
Uh huh.
So that's gonna be a real winner. And the best
Yeah.
part is it comes out right before Christmas, December 20th.
Great.
Friday before Christmas, baby. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
That's for the series.
No, that's for the movie. That's for Sonic
Oh, that's
3.
for the movie. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. The series
Look,
already
people
came
like to go
out.
to the movies on Christmas. I found out.
Yeah, no, I've totally done that. That's actually how I saw
We've done it.
Star Wars, a bunch of Star Wars movies.
I did it too, but I did it once, and it was because I had nothing else to do. I was like in Reno. I was like, I don't know. I haven't slept last night, so let's just wander around and find some movies. And holy shit, Christmas Day, there were a lot of people at the theater. It was
Yes,
ridiculous.
yes. So yeah. Hey, that's it's actually a surprise. Actually, if you want to avoid people at Christmas Day at the theater, go early. If you go there
Yeah.
like to a 10
Oh,
a.m.
that's always
showing,
the answer, but yeah.
like 10 a.m. showing on Christmas Day, baby, A plus.
Mm.
Top notch.
It's like you and like two other people. So anyway, what else to the rest of the news?
So Kojima is at least mentioned, even if
Oh,
he's not there.
okay. So like you'll probably get
He's
some.
got his Death Stranding too, and he's got his other games, so
Yeah.
sure.
Because you know Jeff, he loves Kojima.
It's not gonna not happen.
Exactly. We see something involving Fable.
Alright, cool. That makes sense. Very British game from a British studio. It's not
Mm-hmm.
unsurprising.
Killer Instinct or some other Xbox game lands on PS4 and PS5.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
How about we
It's
make
Yeah.
Killer
possible.
Instinct 2? How about that?
Yeah.
Iron
Come on,
Galaxy's
guys.
not
Let's
doing
go.
anything. The fuck is Iron Galaxy doing right now? Nothing. You know? Dave
Good
Lang needs
question.
to
Let's
start
see.
making some fucking phone calls.
Iron Galaxy.
Yeah.
They gotta be doing
And
something. They're
then
paying their people.
Yeah.
and then the last hope for Gamescom. Max Payne 1 and 2 remake shows us gritty noir bullet time in 4K.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. That makes
That'd be
sense.
nice, but who knows?
Yeah, they just worked on Killer Instinct Anniversary Edition. It's the most recent product.
Oh, Adam Boyce just left Iron Galaxy.
Yep. Wonder what
Damn.
he's off to.
I'm trying to see if I can, if that's even in the announcement. That was a wild uh, E3 when like he was like for a brief moment like he just became a part of PlayStation and games history by doing that skit for used games. And then like later that night we would tune in and he's like just getting drunk with Dave Lang and John Vignacchi.
Jeez.
Yes.
That was a hell of a time.
Also, I'm still here talking. I just need to open the door
All right.
because the room door is hot.
Yes. Uh, it doesn't unless I'm missing it. I'm not seeing where he's going. I'm very curious. All right, well, Adam Boyes is a good dude.
Yes.
I hope they're working on Killer Instinct too.
That'd be nice.
Now's the time.
Very much so. Now is the time for a new Killer Instinct.
Tekken 8 and Street Fighter and Guilty Gear are firing on all cylinders. Fighting games
Throw
are more
KI
in
in
than
there
ever
just for shits and
before.
giggles. Why not?
Marvel vs. Capcom is testing the waters here. 2XKO is about to come out. You have, and like for Microsoft. This is Microsoft's big thing in this area that is blowing up. Just
Prime real estate, my dude. Let's go.
come on.
Come on.
You already have it.
Let's go.
Anyway.
Well, instead they put out KI Anniversary and some patches this year, so
Which again, I'm hoping is
Fuck
just
them.
them testing the waters. I'm hoping they're like, I hope that's what that is.
I mean, I bought it on Steam, so
Oh
so
God, I was just scrolling down looking at news and the scrub quotes came across and said, "I'm also against grabs as a mechanic."
Ah,
The fuck? You're playing a fighting game, my friend.
I love the
Anyway,
idea of like someone's just like, no grabs, bro. I'm
when I
like,
play rock paper scissors, I'm against the use of scissors, and you should be against it too. Okay.
oh, oh lord.
Anyway, what else is going on?
Okay,
what we've been playing. So,
Oh,
Aaron.
yeah.
okay, fantastic. I played a little bit of Tekken, but playing late at night is proving to be very detrimental to me, which is a shame because I don't have much time any other time.
Yeah, I feel
Um,
you. I feel you on that.
so I played a minimal amount of Tekken on Friday Night Fights. Didn't have time to improve, so I didn't. I just kind of turned brain off, hit what I know, and naturally it didn't quite work after like the second or third time we've done it. Um, so the you have to improve, but I just haven't had the time to go do it.
Um,
Um,
it's fair.
so I intend to play some more Guilty Gear. I want to try Axel, but haven't done that yet. Only other thing is I've been playing some Monster Hunter Rise.
The fuck? Why?
Oh.
So I'm trying to jump around. I have like different friend groups that are all part of like different things, and so I jump around, and we each have a game to play while we talk and catch up.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine, I haven't been talking with very much recently, and we're like trying to get back into talking with each other and hanging out. It's very easy when they're an internet friend and they're like way far away. It can be very easy to be like to lose track. We all have
Yeah.
our in-person struggles. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so we're trying to get something figured out. And he's a big Monster Hunter fan,
Mm.
and is really passionate about it. And I was like, last time it was like I don't know, a few months ago. I picked it up again to just give another try, and I tried out the insect glaive as a weapon, and I fucking love it. I love using the insect glaive. It's just this giant stick and an insect you throw out, and you're just flying around in the air, swinging this stick like a madman, and throwing out the insect to get the certain buffs you need. And it's like they're kind of like dots. You need to keep them on rotation, and they're up for a certain amount of time to get the most damage. And um, it's fantastic. I'm having a good time. So I've actually gotten up to rank 5 in
Mm.
Monster Hunter Rise.
Okay.
Uh, and so I'm just gonna keep going. It's getting a little harder now
Mm.
because I just started rank 5, and I haven't been messing with a lot of the systems,
Mm.
particularly the systems that are about creating items out of the scraps that you have. And now that I'm getting into rank 5, they're like, yeah, remember when we were just giving you rations and we're giving you antidotes and we're giving you all this stuff? We're gonna give you a lot less of that while the enemies get harder.
Mm.
Um, you better learn to start understanding these systems. And it's like, okay. Um, I can really see the loop here of going out and doing a hunt and then coming back and like, I need to go around. All right, can I upgrade my stuff? Can I make new stuff that's better than the stuff that I have now? Let me get to work on all that. What stuff do I need? Do I want to go down to a smaller hunt and grab those materials real quick? Then I got to go to items. If I can't just buy the items, I need to craft the items. And there's stuff like some stuff I did not know months and years ago about Monster Hunters. Like they got what they call meowcenaries, where you send out your cats to collect items, kind of like ventures,
Okay.
um, and from Final Fantasy 14, and just like have them come back and bring items. And so I haven't delved into any of that because I haven't needed it up to this point. But now that I'm getting fairly comfortable with using Insect Glaive and things are getting harder, it's like, all right, now I need to switch over and learn the rest of these mechanics and how this game works fully. And I'm getting really into it. Now that I've figured out how to use the Insect Glaive, I'm having a blast. Um, and just yeah, been doing that, playing with my friend, and we're just gonna keep going. And our eyes are now set on Wilds and what that's gonna be like. So,
I'm I am genuinely excited for Wilds. I remember I really liked World. I didn't care for Rise all that much.
mm,
And I think Rise is a really bad one for new players unless you have someone to hold your hand through it. I think it's
that
genuinely
beginning is rough. It's
yeah.
like
Hmm.
if you don't know what Monster Hunter is, there's like holy shit the amount of pop-ups. Because like the game themselves, they know that this is an overwhelming thing. But the problem is then they try to explain everything to you and like just fuck, I just want to play the game. And then you get in and play the game, it's like, oh god, I don't know what I'm doing.
So, uh, yeah. So like my girlfriend tried to get into Rise because that was the new one and her brother recommended it, and like I played the intro to that game on Switch because she waited for the PC release or they waited for the, and I
Mhm.
played it on Switch and I'm just like, I don't know if she's gonna enjoy this one because it's so much harsher than World. The beginning of it, like
Interesting.
World really doesn't like World is the first one World is the game that made me understand Monster Hunter, and I really enjoyed it because of that. Um,
Right.
and then I played Rise. I'm just like, oh fuck this again. And I got like a decent amount of time into it, but it definitely not the way I played World, which is why apparently Wilds is supposed to be like World, which is why I'm like, I kind of want to talk to her about like, we should give Wilds a shot. We should give
Yeah.
Wilds a shot. We'll do it together, be a fun thing. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Did you play World back in the?
I did
Cause,
not.
Cause the Monster Hunter fandom is divided. It is a house divided where some of
Yes.
them really like Wild or not Wild World, and some of them really like Rise. And I am definitely on the side of the World people. So
It's something that like having now that like this is finally I feel like this is the moment of like I'm understanding Monster Hunter now. I am getting it. I do want to go check out Worlds because I do know about that split and
mm,
I'm very curious um what
yeah,
that's like, but also I'm just trying to get through what, is considered like the story or
yeah.
what my friend refers to as the tutorial for Monster Hunter is getting to master rank and then there's stuff
Monster
after that.
Monster Hunter is just an MMO that you play with three people. It's all that it is.
Yeah,
Look. Let me. You look at Monster Hunter. You play Monster Hunter, and you look at the mechanics and the depth at Monster Hunter. It's like this is an MMO. That's a 4-player game instead of a 40-player game. Let's call it what it is, folks.
yeah, yeah,
um.
right. And
So
goddamn, I'm having a good time. So if y'all end up joining for Wilds, I may very well be there.
I'm definitely gonna pick up Wilds. And it is crossplay, but I'm debating where I want to get it still because like okay, that's the type of game that I think playing on a TV is fucking awesome. Like a big 65-inch TV, so the monsters just look huge as shit. But then I'm
Yeah.
just like, well, if I'm playing this with my girlfriend or streaming it, then I might want to be at my computer. So
Right.
shit.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see where we go with it. I don't know. Maybe I'll just buy 2 copies. The unfortunate answer when you've split the setup is 2 copies is your answer. So all right, well that's cool. So Monster Hunter and Tekken, is that what it's in?
That's basically been it for me. Yep.
Okay. I played the new Madden.
Oh yeah.
Hey, right.
The EA Play has that 10-hour trial. I put about 4 hours into it. Um, Still glitchy. Um, has Still has that like. So I complained about this last year. There's this seasonal fatigue system, right? Like this system where
Mm-hmm.
like players get tired over the course of the season, and you have to choose to rest them or not. The problem is it's like way too aggressive. Like on week 5 of the season, like almost all of my starters, besides my quarterback, were like would do 3 plays and be like, sub me out, and I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? And like I'm
Right.
managing and I'm going into practice and being like, okay, we're mostly doing backups and we're not doing pads. No, we're still all gas, coach. And I was like, what? Why? And it doesn't make any sense, and it's like apparently no matter how you manage it, it's just like way too aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's kind of been a big issue. I feel like they definitely took some of the stuff from NCAA because the on the field stuff feels a lot better. Like the running the ball is a lot better. The O line
Okay.
AI seems smarter. The controls on the field seem better. Like I was in the open field and juked to the right, and it did it perfectly and got him into open field for a touchdown. Like it just ball placement is better. Like the on the field gameplay is probably the strongest it's been in a while. So that's
Mm.
nice.
That is
But
nice.
but still all the like menu stuff and like all the related stuff is like not great. Also they added multiple commentary teams depending on when you're playing. So like Sunday
Oh,
night versus
really?
Monday night, yeah. So that was a nice little change.
Nice little touch.
Yeah. I don't know, it's fine. It's like the definition of a like 3 out of 5 game. It's like there's some problems here, but if you like NFL football, it's good.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to have the same level of heart that NCAA had, but NCAA had a lot of extra time. So,
Yeah.
and it's and like who knows? I'm hoping that competition between those two teams drives them to both want to do better. So,
Yes,
but
that would be nice.
we'll see. I know that their current reviews are like mostly sixes and a couple of sevens. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty much yo dog. It's a slightly better version of what you've seen the last couple of years. They're not doing anything. Yeah, no, this one review actually says it perfectly. Madden 24 is an improved product on the field, but everything else leaves a lot to be desired. Yep. So,
Right.
uh, then I played some Street Fighter. Akuma is now Plat 5.
Oh, let's go,
Yep.
baby. Let's
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
go.
He's well on his way to Diamond. And I don't at Diamond. I'm gonna be like I'm slowly working. So what's funny? I actually had to work on something with Ryu to get something down for Akuma, I
Mm.
don't know why it worked in my brain, but it did. So like I was messing around with Ryu for fun. Like it was just like I want to play some Ryu today. Let's play some Ryu. And then I like was like doing a drive rush combo. And I'm just like, oh, okay, I see how this works for Ryu. And I tried to apply it to Akuma, and I still find it harder on Akuma, and I think it's just the range isn't as good. But I'm almost to the point of where I can drive rush like punish now.
Okay.
Um, I am finding that drive rush combos aren't always worth it on modern controls just because of muted um, the muted damage. Uh, but because if you use drive rush, your combo damage scales down a little bit. So that combined with modern, combined with any other shit, like it isn't always the best results, but it does work sometimes. I also did some testing with Cammy. I'm a gold one Cammy. Let's go.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
All right. Cool. Hell yeah.
It's mainly just because you can do this loop in the corner where it's like low, mid, low, or it's like low, high, low, high. It's like it goes low, then it goes high, then it goes low, and then it does a special, and they have to know to block in that order, basically. And then on top of that, what you can do that twice in a row, and then you just say fuck it, I'm gonna grab now, and they're gonna be and like unless the only thing that'll blow you up is if they're gonna DP, but then you can bait
Right.
that out too. You can do this low high 2 times in a row, and like okay they're gonna DP, and then you blow them like up again.
Right.
So it's a lot of fun. I definitely don't see her as like out. I like grapplers and I like having a projectile, and she has neither of those things.
Neither. Nope.
Wah, wah,
I do like her
wah.
air
Projectile
grab.
is herself.
Yes, I do like her air grab though. I do like the
Yeah.
fact that she has that like you both jump up and you're like nope, drop it down.
Yep.
Today.
Um, yeah. So I did Tekken. I finally figured out a launcher with Leroy. Now I just need to figure out a combo to go off of that launcher.
All right.
Nice.
That shouldn't
Funny
be too
thing
hard.
is his launcher that's actually decent is quarter circle forward 2.
Okay.
So I'm just like,
All right.
it always goes back to Street Fighter.
It sure does.
Always goes back. Always, always, always.
Yeah, and that was kind of it if I recall. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Street Fighter, Madden, Tekken, and then oh, World of Warcraft. I've been doing the pre-patch event to level my alts, and it's stupid. You can get a character from level 60 to the current cap before the expansion 70 in like an hour.
Man,
It's
Jesus
nuts.
Christ.
they really want you up at that up at that cap.
Apparently.
So yeah, I will say yeah, because their whole gimmick for the new expansion is everything is account bound now. So and you can shift gear to alts now too, or some gear. It's like ward bound gear. So now like having multiple alts is super viable for endgame now.
Oh.
And so to go into the new expansion, they want you like, yeah, dude, have as many characters as you want ready to go.
Right.
And that means
Go
I am
for
going to
it.
have every class capped, it looks like, except for Shaman and Priest.
Damn.
Cool.
And
Hell yeah.
if I have the time, I might even do Priest as well. I don't give a shit
Why
about
not?
Shaman. Shaman
Okay.
can go in the corner. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Well, hell yeah. That's awesome.
Yep.
When's that out?
This Thursday if you get the Epic Edition, if not, Tuesday. Or no, Monday. So this upcoming Thursday, if you bought the Fancy Edition like I did, if you didn't get the Fancy Edition, then it'll be out
Next Tuesday.
on Monday.
Or next Monday.
So it'll be out the 22nd if you live in North America at 3 p.m. And then if you didn't get the Fancy Edition, the 26th at 3 p.m. if you... So there you go. Yep.
Okay.
I'm about to ruin my life.
Right?
Let's go. MMO time, baby. Best part is, well, funny thing is my girlfriend, the new Guild Wars expansion is out, I want to say on Monday or Tuesday this week.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, no, it's going to be, it's going to turn it into an MMO nest in this office. Yeah.
You gotta the day before you have to watch Second Life with her.
Just as a cautionary tale. It's either a cautionary
Well, you know
tale
what
or
we're
a
about
goal.
to experience. This is a time-honored tradition that is somewhat controversial.
That is
Somewhat.
yeah, this is, yeah. Like, here, watch this old, weird documentary with
Watch
me.
these old 30-year-olds in the 2000s, and they're doing their thing. They're all playing in their corners, and you just look over and you're like, "That's us now."
Go figure. Go
just
fucking
like,
figure.
yeah, that's where we're at now.
These are our elders.
Yep. If I knew then what I know
what
now.
I know now. Yep.
lordy.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to going to that nest. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be
Yeah,
it's gonna be a
doesn't
great
happen
time.
often.
Once every 2 years, you get
Yeah.
that. I will say they're they're staggering the content a bit. So the way they're doing it is we're getting the leveling experience and the initial end game the first week, and then the following week is Mythic Zero, and then the week after that is Raid and Mythic Plus. So from the
Hmm.
23rd to the 26th, or sorry, the 23rd to the 2nd is just time to level and time to run heroic and things like that. The 2nd to the 10th is Mythic Zero, and then the 10th onward is hey, the season's out, the content's out, um, go run keys and raid.
Right.
So I am ready. My body is ready.
I believe it. It's gonna be a
Yes,
good time. You're gonna have a blast.
yes. It's gonna cut my fighting game time, but it'll be worth it.
You know, it's got to come from somewhere.
Yep. All right. Well, and then M, did you play anything new this week?
New season of Speedstorm came out
Okay.
on Tuesday, Wednesday, somewhere around there. Wednesday.
Okay.
And we have new Pirates of the Caribbean drivers.
Hey, hell yeah.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
originally we only had Jack and Elizabeth.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, do you
So
have Davy
now
Jones
we
now?
have, oh yeah,
Yeah.
All right. Good.
yeah, Davy Jones is in there. I actually started playing it and texted my brother at the same time with all the different characters their um and their class.
Mm.
Here we go. So Davy Jones is a defender.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Um, Will Turner is a speedster.
Sure.
Captain Barbossa is a brawler.
Okay.
All right.
And the one character with the class making the most sense in Speedstorm and in general, uh, Tia Dalma is a trickster.
Eh.
She's
Okay.
the one with the crabs, yeah. And her
Yeah.
power up is crazy. And she's got crabs like kind of helping her float.
She should go to a doctor. There's a shampoo for that.
Yeah.
Fuck you. No, but I started playing it and that's a bit of fun on that one. Hopefully I'll do
uh.
some more rounds in a little bit. And I finally finished Rebirth.
Hey. All right.
Yay! We're planning to do the spoiler cast for that soon. I just need to make time. So,
Yeah, no worries.
um, talk about all that controversy in the ending, eh? And the boss fight that never fucking ends.
Oh,
It's so fucking long. Even by Final Fantasy standards, I was just like, Jesus fucking
that's so
Christ.
fucking
Can
long.
we
Like
end this already, please?
that was definitely giving me Ansem in Kingdom Hearts 1
Yeah,
energy.
I was
Like,
just like, why does he have
fuck
so many
this.
fucking health bars?
Why? Just
So,
just why? But yeah.
alright. Um, so, yeah. Alright, well, I think that's everything, everybody.
I think it
Th-
is.
Yeah.
thank
That's a
you for
show, guys.
thank you for tuning in. We love you. We'll see you Tuesday for ranking the PS2. Friday for Friday Night Fights. We are returning to the streets to fight in them.
Yes. Let's
And
go.
then, yeah, podcast next Sunday. We love you. Goodbye.